Hello everybody and welcome back for more Let's Play Banjo-Tooie. In the last episode, we did more stuff around in Grunty Industries. What did we do? Well, we got more jiggies for one thing. We also did another FES section where we had to, well, we've seen some... So, in this episode, let's say we go ahead and, well, you know, let's just finish this godforsaken level. What shall we? Let's finish it. I mean, you know... Because you'll already see, like, just on the thumbnail alone, which, of course, well, I mean, you've already spoiled, though, but we'll just, I'll just talk about it later, though, that, you know, we are actually, as a matter of fact, finishing Grunty Industries, and, you know, thank God, and you can see, I told you guys, I actually, managed to just go through 3 episodes of Grunty Industries, and so we're finally going to finish it. And yes, I know, the video is over a half-hour long, so you can see right there. I mean, I did record quite a lot of the, rest of the level. But, you know, I just want to get this damn level done. I really do. So, yeah, I just had to, like, record as much of it, though. And so, even with the editing, I mean, I did some jump cuts here and there to cut off the unnecessary clips that didn't need to be seen. It still managed to get, like, over a half hour long. So, I do apologize in that instance, so. But, I just want to get it done, so. There's actually a few more jiggies to collect, though. Like, you know, there's just, well, one thing, there's a couple of them. Of course, the boss, of course. Yeah, we're about to be facing off against the boss. But, you know, just not much more details, of course. That we'll be getting into later. But, you know, we're going to be done pretty soon, so not to worry. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, if I can just get this Bazo battery. There we go. There we go. Now, let's put it right in the backpack right there. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and bring it over to... God damn it. Bring the battery over to that charging station, or the shooter, or whatever it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm so tired. I'm actually, I actually just woke up. Well, I mean, I did have my coffee and all that, and so it's kind of like early in the morning, though, but, you know, I kind of want to get this recording out of the way, though, because of how long the video is, or at least its commentary, and that's because, you know, I have a lot of stuff to do, so, you know, just got a lot of errands to run, but, you know, I can just get the video uploaded and ready to go pretty soon, so. Anyways, so, let's see, I think I was going to, oh, you know, yeah, that's right, so, there's that one, area to put the battery in. That's actually going to be in the 4th floor. I thought, for some reason, I was going to bring it over to this one other area in the 2nd floor, but that's actually for later, and so, I thought past me was going to be taking care of that. So, but we are going to be go ahead and we're going to go ahead and bring that battery over to this one room for this one other jiggy that we need. So yeah. I guess there's not much else I can say about the rest of the level here, other than the fact that, you know, it's been a hell of a level. It's been a hell of a ride and all that, though. But, you know. But at least we're getting things done here, so... I also do want to mention, though, that, what I'm actually going to do right now, though, is that, you know, I did mention that, I actually still do not have a Switch 2 just yet, because they've been out of stock for a good while. And, on one hand, I'm disappointed for the fact that I still don't have it, though, even though, I've seen it all on people's timelines on, Blue Sky, and, you know, with people getting their Switch 2s, and it's driving me insane. But on the other hand, at least it's actually buying me enough time to be able to finish the rest of the recording, though, because like, what I'm going to do, and now, I could be wrong about this one. I could very much be wrong, and you guys are absolutely welcome to correct me on this one. Because, you know, I tend to get a little paranoid with this kind of stuff, though, but, you know, you guys can correct me. What I was planning on doing is that when I get my Switch 2, I was, of course, going to be transferring all my Switch 1 data to the Switch 2. The thing about it is, though, is that I'm actually kind of worried that it might affect my data for Banjo-Tooie, and I might just have to start this all over again. I really don't want to, and I would be so fucking pissed if I did that. Like, it might just end up erasing the data, and so, and it might be justified, though, because I think I've had that happen to me before, like, a long time ago. So, so yeah, so, you know, that's why I was thinking that way, so... I could be wrong, though. I think I could still keep the data, though, but you never know. You just never know. It might be a little risky, though, so... but that's what I was planning on doing, though. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to record all the rest of Banjo-Tooie until the final boss. So that way there I got it all done recording, and then I can just commentate over them. So, so that's just what I'll do. So at least, you know, not having to switch to just yet is actually buying me enough time to do so. But I'm still going to try to get it anyway, so... Anyway, so to talk about this mission here, so what it is that we're going past the cable room, and this is I think this is the quality control room. What it is, though, is that you see all these toxic barrels right here. What you want to do is that you want to shoot the blue barrels with the Rare logo on them. Yeah, that's right. The very company that made this game, and you know all the other titles like the Banjo-Kazooie games or Donkey Kong Country, they actually want us to shoot the logos there. So but there's a catch though. You really want to make sure not to accidentally shoot the green nuclear barrels, because if you do, then the whole room will be smothered and it'll be filled up with the toxic gas and the smoke, and you'll lose your air meter really fast. I think it's like really fast, and so it becomes unsafe. When you go back out to the cable room, there is a switch that you can step on, and so when you press it, then there will be a countdown, and then this fresh air will come in, and then it'll actually clear off all the nuclear gas, and so it'll actually be safe for you to come back in and then try it again. So that's actually what. So we did see that switch over there. That's actually what it's for, though. So so yeah, if it gets covered in the nuclear gas smoke, then just step on the switch, and then the air vents will come into play, and then they'll clear off. But yeah, that's actually what it is. That's what the whole mission is, just by shooting the Rare logos, the barrels there. Now the Jiggy does come out, but it's actually on the other side though. But problem is though, we can't really access it as regular Banjo-Kazooie, and so we actually need a certain transformation to gain access to it that only the door can get in. Speaking of which, we're actually about to do that right now. So let us see what the transformation is here. Oh, it's gonna be some good. What? A washing machine? Is this some kind of joke? You're turning me into a washing. What? Where's the actual transformation? Like what? I thought I was gonna get a real cool transformation, but you made the joke about washing machine about all this here. Okay, no, just kidding, guys. Yeah, this is the actual transformation. Yep, washing machine banjo, or washer banjo. So you guys remember? So I never actually mentioned this when we turned the T-Rex, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this right here. So I'm sure you guys remember. Oh, and by the way, folks, when you're the washer, you actually can't use the warp pads at all, because the PA actually prevents you from doing so. So like mechanical personnel can't use those, so you have to use the elevators instead. So that's actually what those elevators are for, that only the washer can gain access to. Anyway, so those of you guys who actually still remember, in Banjo-Kazooie, on rare occasions, and yeah, okay, I'll stop with our jokes, but occasionally, I think like for certain conditions though, if you try to go over to Mumbo and activate your transformation for the world, what happens is that sometimes, and it can happen randomly, is where Mumbo will, by complete accident, transform you to a washing machine. And so he goes like, "Oh, whoops, sorry about that." And then it says that his loincloth is all dirty though. So he'll realize his mistake, and then he'll just go ahead and change you to the proper transformation. So that was actually the whole joke of what it is here. They actually use that as a joke. That game being a very cartoony kind of game, so they actually want to do it as some kind of a haha funny, even turn into a washing machine by complete accident. So yeah, it's kind of surprising, but also funny at the same time, where it could just happen randomly though. The other thing about it though is that there's actually two ways about it. So there was that joke there. The other one was where after you've completed all of Bottle's bonus challenges, like you go to Banjo's house and you do those bonus challenges or the puzzle challenges that Bottles gives you. After you beat the very last one, he gives you the code Wishy Washy Banjo, which you go over to the Sandcastle and Treasure Trove Cove, and you type in that code, and then Mumbo will actually, he actually does turn you into a washing machine, but he actually gets real pissy at you for doing so. And so you actually get to play as the washer banjo, and so, or just the washing machine itself, so you actually get to take full control. And, nothing really changes about it or anything like that, though, where, it still plays and controls exactly like regular banjo, but, I think there might be some kind of condition that happens. I think they were saying can't really drown or anything like that. I think there was something else though that prevents access. I can't remember what it was though, but I'll have to look up and see what the issue was. So that's what it is. But here in this game though, it's in Banjo-Tooie, the washing machine is an actual transformation for Grunty Industries, and so it's actually given some abilities. Like if you press the Z button, then the banjo will actually just spit out underwear. Like you actually use underwear as projectile weapons, which is actually kind of funny if you ask me. Just like shooting underwear at enemies. That was actually hilarious. Just doing so. It's so humiliating too. The other thing is that we're actually doing this mission here. So all around here, you actually see these rabbit workers right here. They're called they're the skivvy workmates. And their problem is that their clothes are dirty, and so we actually did see them before, and they really couldn't be bothered to just go over. And I actually did go on this tangent about how in workplaces you do tend to get your clothes dirty, and that does tend to happen. So nothing to really be upset about, honestly, because you will get your clothes washed later. What we have to do is that as the washing machine, we have to go over to them, and then we actually give their clothes a little spin, and just get them washed and then dry them out as well. I think it's like kind of an all-in-one washing machine. And so their clothes will get clean. And so I think there's like a total of 5 or 6 of the skivvy workmates that you have to find and then get their clothes washed. And after all of them, that's when you get your jiggy. So that's what it is. But yeah, it was a nice little... but yeah, I gotta say, though, that's actually like another one of those kind of foreshadowing things about, with a washing machine being a Banjo-Kazooie and used as a transformation. It's actually not the only one, though. And I didn't really get to talk about this in Pterodactyl Land when we're Tyrannosaurus Fox. They actually do. They also reference a T-Rex in Banjo-Kazooie as well. Where when you're about to perform your transformation with Mumbo, he'll actually outright tell you that he's going to be turning you into a T-Rex. So that way, you actually be able to be Grunty very early, because he's very hell bent on wanting to get revenge on Grunty for for the apparent backstory. Well, even though the game over cutscene didn't really make much sense for that though, but. But he'll say that he'll claim that he'll turn into a T-Rex, and then he'll try to perform a transformation. Only it doesn't really do anything at all, and just then Banjo is still kept in his regular bear form. And so I think he just says he changed his mind or doesn't have the power yet. And so he also says he'll save it for the next game, and that next game being, of course, Banjo-Tooie, of course. And that's where we technically do get to see that in full action, just with a T-Rex. That was actually such a cool transformation, and see that Banjo-Tooie. Only difference is, though, is that that job or that position was given over to Humbo Wumba, where now she's the one who does the transformations, and so now Mumbo is just the one who actually has a different role and just becomes playable as a result. So he doesn't exactly quite keep his promise, but we actually but that kind of position is taken over to Humbo Wumba instead. So, but we still do get to see that in action. So that was actually kind of cool. So yeah, a couple of foreshadowings for this one too, and they did it a few times for back in Banjo-Kazooie. It's kind of cool how, games kind of tend to foreshadow. They actually do references or actually use items to foreshadow certain games. Kind of like that in Pokemon, where in Pokemon X and Y, there's that one guy who gives you the this strange souvenir that he said he actually got from this region that's it's some kind of a Hawaiian region that's nothing that we haven't known at the time yet. And then comes Sun and Moon, where we actually do get to see where the strange souvenir is from, where it's actually from Alola. So that's actually one of those things where they did. It's kind of nice that they do a little foreshadowing for those kind of things. So now there's 2 more of the skivvy workmates here. Oh yes, and I did mention this. So yeah, these doors right here, those only Watcher Banjo can be able to access those doors, and so that's what the PA system means by mechanical personnel, because only they can access them in there. So that's actually what it is. But yeah, the washing machine is actually a little more proactive, though. Now, I'm not exactly a huge fan of the washing machine, though, because for 2 things. One, the control feels very stiff, of course, and so you have to make all these rounded turns when you go all around. And also, his jumping height is very low, where you can't really jump very much there. The other thing is that when you shoot the underwear out from the washer door, it's not very precise at all. It actually just goes down in a downward position when you shoot them. So it's not a real good precise aim for what it is, or precise shooting. So yeah, it's not really my most favorite transformation. Well, probably one of my least favorite ones too, aside from the detonator and Glitter Ultramine. So now, there is actually one thing I wanted to say, though, and yeah, we're going to go back over to the quality control. So yeah, so after you do the mission where you shoot the rare barrels and not shoot the nuclear barrels, so the jiggy will come out, but it's only on the other side, and you can only access it as Washer Banjo. So you have to change that, so that's kind of where things get a little complex. There is that spring jump pad that's over there for some reason, which kind of seems to imply that you can be able to access over there. Maybe actually sequence break over there as a... Actually, maybe a regular Kazooie, or maybe a Kazooie herself can actually be able to go over there, but yeah. I also do want to say though, so going back to bit, like, I was kind of making the joke about how apparently Rare wants us to just shoot those barrels, and and considering the considering current circumstances with Rare, like, I guess they probably want us to though, because like honestly though, I mean, even still to this day, I still do really love their games, of course. They do make fantastic games. Unfortunately, I've gotten to where I don't really like the company themselves now because, and maybe it's not so much just for the fact that, ever since they joined Microsoft, but, I mean, I know they really haven't been much of the same since then. A lot of people have that kind of sentiment, though, but, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should actually play the games that were released on the Xbox consoles and, grab by the ghoulies, but yeah, the thing about it is, though, is that I just don't really like Rare anymore, though, and that's actually mainly because they've unfortunately become they become such an empty shell of their former selves now, where it's like now it's like all generic and all that, though. I know they're trying to make like some different new games, like there was a Sea of Thieves and then the upcoming Everwild. Which, of course, I mean, going back to Sea of Thieves a bit there, is that game any good? Because, I mean, I was hearing some good things about Sea of Thieves, though, so, I mean, if you guys ever played Sea of Thieves, though, I mean, like, I mean, what are your thoughts on that one? Is it any good? Or, I mean, is it enjoyable, at least? I mean, I don't know. But the thing about it is, though, is that, yeah, like I said, Rare has definitely become an empty shell of their former selves nowadays, where, now their games are kind of, like, less in quality. A lot of the staff members left, like, the original development team, there's, like, so many people actually left the company. Although they did come to form Platonic Games, and that's how Yooka-Laylee came to be, though. Which, of course, I actually did play Yooka-Laylee, like, years ago, when it first came out, though. I haven't gotten around to going back to it, though, because, well, for one thing, I actually playing on the PS4, but it was actually my family's PS4 at the time, though, and I didn't really get to play very much, though. But I was planning on getting the Switch, or the Nintendo Switch port, because I did hear that it had some issues fixed at the very least, because, with all the load times and all that. But I know a lot of people were mixed about Yooka-Laylee, so, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually still willing to go back into it, though, or just go back into the game itself, especially, as a huge Banjo-Kazooie fan. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, there might be some things about it where, that I might be a little iffy towards, but I don't know. I haven't played for a while, though. I gotta go back to it and just see what I think now, but I know there's a lot of mixed things about it, where it probably doesn't fulfill as much of a Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie, or as a matter of fact, with, how, it probably should have been a lot more modernized and all that, with, modern platformers, like, let's say Hat in Time, which, also, another game that's also on my list. I'm so sorry, guys, for saying this, though. I still have never played a Hat in Time. I want to, though. I've actually been meaning to for such a long time, though. I just never had a chance to, because, you know about one of those things where, there's a game that came out, and you really want to play so badly, though. But you have so many other games that you actually have yet to have, or you have yet to play, and it's actually on your back burner for right now. That's actually one thing I have too, because I have so many other games in my collection or my library that that I have with me, but I actually haven't gotten to play yet because they've been in the back burner because, like, for one thing, there's new games coming out, and so I was wanting to play that as well, or some games I want to revisit. The other thing is, of course, with life getting in the way and all that, so. And I'm sure I'm pretty sure it's happened to everybody, of course, where there's games that you want to play, but you just haven't got the chance to because there's so many of them in your back burner right now, and so you want to get around to them, you just don't really have the time to, or just the personal interest and all that, though. And that's something that could be understood, though, because there's just a lot of things going on, though, and a lot of things to try out. So that's pretty much the kind of sentiment that a lot of people have, and and even I have that too. So. Yeah, there's a lot of games I want to get around to doing, but just not at the moment, though, because of, a lot of things, and, and now even more so with the Switch 2 coming out. Well, actually, no, the Switch 2 is already out now. I just don't have the console just yet. So, yeah, that's kind of what it is here, so. Anyway, so we brought the battery over to the, I think it was like the electromagnetic chamber is what it is, and so there's actually we have to have access to this one area to well, what it is though is that we're actually about to fight the boss, and so that requires having to go play as Mumbo because there's a Mumbo pad right there, and so we have to actually have to bring him over and then get the magnetic thing activated, and we actually need Momo for that too, because we're gonna want to hit the switch as the washing machine transformation. The thing about it is though, is that if we don't have Momo to get taken care of, whenever you get close to the switch here, there's a giant magnet that'll come out of the machine, and we'll try to pull a Watcher Banjo over to it, because because of the magnet. So we have to do something about it though. So we're gonna head right over this way, and then we're playing as Momo now, and so we're gonna go ahead and use his EMP magic. Was I about to say transformation? No, that was his job in Banjo-Kazooie. No, he has a different job now in this game. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get this EMP transformation activated. And yeah, I hope this works. All right, so yeah, EMP electromagnet. Alright, so yeah, what that does is actually disables the electromagnet, so that way it makes them malfunction. So and yes, once again, it's under a time limit, so it'll be reactivated in 90 seconds. So in theory, it actually does give you plenty of time, but you still want to hurry though, because just going back over there. But yeah, it's actually one of those things where not a lot of people like, and I'm not a fan of it either. Like especially in Grunty Industries, where there's a lot of back and forth that you have to do, and it does tend to get pretty annoying and all that. And I mean, honestly though, it's kind of, well, I don't really want to compare it to Donkey Kong 64 though, but but it kind of seems like it too, where especially where you actually have want to get access to an area with one Kong, and but then you actually try to go forward, then you have to have another Kong to unlock it though. So yeah, that's what it's just. It means having to go back to the tech barrel, and I know this because I'm actually currently replaying DK64 at the moment. Just kind of like a reflect, because I actually loved the game as a kid. But now, going back as an adult, and, I'm actually, just replaying it as an adult as well. Just kind of reflect on that. And, I actually do begin to notice some things that that kind of seem to annoy me, though. But, Now, don't get me wrong. I still don't hate the game, though. And I'm still finding some enjoyment out of it, though. I still like it. It's just, there's some certain things in terms of design where, it's kind of like either annoying or kind of inconvenient, though. I mean, mainly in regards to having to, just switch to a different Kong for something. So, yeah, but I don't know. Once I actually beat the game, though, I'll actually have my full feelings on it towards the end of it. But, well, for my whole opinions, and, and I'll actually still eventually talk about when I do get to do a Let's Play of DK64. Eventually, though, and you'll probably see a lot about it, though. But anyway. Alright, so now we have the that magnet malfunction, so we just have to go back over to Watcher Banjo and just hit the switch, so that way the electromagnet won't really interfere with us. And so we can actually just be able to get up to the room. So what that did after pressing the switch, it went over to the it went over to the air conditioning plant. And so what that does actually opens the door, and so now we have access to the repair depot. So we're going to go ahead and head over there. It's actually going to be over in floor 1 and just down in the basement. So we're going to go to the air conditioning plant, and so let's see what's over there. And yeah, it's kind of getting close towards the end of the video though. So, well, not so much towards the end of the video though. I mean, we have like just about 10 minutes left. So anyways, let's see here. And yeah, there's a couple of the notes here. When I was looking at my stat screen, I thought I was missing a couple of the or a couple more of the note nests there, but they're actually just right down there. Just like they're just in a very random spot at the moment. So anyways, so right over this way will be the repair depot, and so we're gonna go ahead and get in here. And yeah, there's that rotating cylinder that we can't really go across because because it rotates obviously. So now we go over this way here, we see a Cheeto page, and man, it's rotating there. We can't really get it here, can we? Oh, we can see we try to attempt it here. Oh, no, we can't. And oh, that's a big fall there. Wait a second, door closing. And oh, and dramatic music. Yep, that could mean one thing, folks. Boss time. What on earth is that? I think it looks like an enormous toilet cleaner.
Well, he doesn't seem to be very mobile. See how the poor thing struggles to get in here.
This shouldn't be much trouble then. Yeah, like, I mean, he's struggling to get here just so he can kill us. I mean, obviously, he is a boss. I mean, he's gotta be. He's huge. Let's see what it is. It's supposed to be a welding torch or something. Yeah, he is. Weldar, visually impaired welding torch.
I believe it states quite clearly in the workers' guidelines that bears are not to be let into the building. So? Well, you're a bear, aren't you?
No.
No, I must remember to wear my glasses. Well, I'm out now, so I might as well go to work on you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Weldar. And Weldar is probably considered by a lot of people to be one of the toughest bosses in the whole game. And so, he has, you know, quite a few attacks. It kind of goes on a pattern as well. So what it is, he's going to start by shooting these laser crystal things at you, or some kind of fireballs, whatever it is. I mean, it has to be fireballs, because he has a welding torch. And then after that's done, then he's going to go into vacuum cleaner mode. It's kind of like, I don't know, he's about the welding torch into that vacuum cleaner, apparently. And so, he'll try to suck you up, like, you know, kind of like Kirby style. And so what you have to do is you have to shoot the grenade egg right at him, though. And it has to be grenade eggs as well. It can't really be any other eggs, because it doesn't affect him at all. Did you just say nuts and bolts? Nuts and bolts? Anyway, so yeah, that's actually what it is. So yeah, the next one, he just shoots out those nuts and bolts enemies right at us, and so we just have to fight them. And then the next one is he's going to try to jump up high into the air, and then he'll try to come after us as well. So, and so you just have to, you know, just try to, like, don't get squished by him, just don't get hit by him. You can actually just try to go to the corner until he just jumps up, and then he'll just come down here. So yeah, once he tries to suck at you, then just shoot the grenade egg, and then that's how it takes damage. And so, it's actually kind of a strategy though that I was going for. And so, you know, in the first phase of it, it's pretty easy though. But the second phase is where things get a little bit more difficult, because what he's going to do next is that he's going to activate the emergency switch. And so there's now lasers on the floor. So you have to, you know, obviously not just don't touch the lasers, because you know they'll hurt you. So. Yeah, so yeah, and then the second phase is kind of the same though, just don't hit the laser. So yeah, just repeat the whole process, and then that's about it. So, but yeah, a lot of people consider this to be a tough one, and you know, I don't find it too hard personally though, but I do see how difficult it is with the second phase, so that's what it is. I will say this though, this theme here, the boss theme that's actually playing here, fucking slaps. I mean, I know it's a boss remix of Grunty Industries, but this is actually without a doubt my personal favorite one, because you know it sounds so epic here, and you know the way the musical scores are, it's such a good track here. Now, granted though, all the other boss remixes of the levels, or all the boss themes are really great as well, because you know them being dramatic and more epic orchestrations of the level theme. But this Welder's boss theme really does take the cake here for being the best one in my opinion. It's so good. I love it so much. But now we're gonna go ahead and do one last hit here, and there we go.
Oh well, looks like my welding days are over.
Yes, you better believe it there, buddy. Yeah, your welding days are over there. And, you know, it's actually kind of a huge thing, though, because, well, I mean, not considering how welding torches are supposed to be, but, you know, he does say his eyesight is so bad because, you know, because that's actually one reference about it is that, you know, that's actually the reason why, like, to those of you who are welders, and, you know, a lot of people do so, is that, you know, obviously, you know, you always have to wear these helmets or those metal masks that has the shader right here. It actually protects your eyes when you're welding because of how extremely bright they are, and they will either hurt your eyes or they will go blind. So that's what those masks are for. So anyway, now Welder's been defeated, and he's lying down decapitated.
Oh, I appear to be quite badly injured.
That's too bad. Now where's our prize?
I guess I can let you have this.
Oh, just that. Okay.
Is that all we get? You gotta be kidding!
You may use it to get back out. I stashed my Jiggy behind the giant fan for safekeeping. But there's nothing to stop you from reaching it now. Though, when will I learn to keep my big mouth shut?
Well, yeah, of course. When will you learn? I mean, he does actually talk a lot, though, during the whole boss fight, because, you know, he's very talkative. And, yeah, he actually has spelled some of your secrets there. Now, what you actually can do is that you actually still interact with him, even though he's just lying down. Like, he'll say some different things, and, you know, he kind of, like, I don't know, say anything things. I know one of them is, you know, kind of, like, basically blaming you for you know, turning him out like this. But, anyway. So, now that Welder has been defeated, a lot of things will be saved, like, all the, since he kind of blew up the, that electrical box that his head went over to, then you know, all the areas or the machinery is stopped, and so we can actually go across here and then get the Cheetah page. And then the actual Jiggy, like, you know, the Jiggy that we get for, just for defeating Weldar, it's actually right behind that, that fan, and so we actually originally can't access it, though, because it was still spinning, and so it was, that's what was stopping us, because, you know, we would actually get hit by those, and it's kind of bringing a rusty fucking pain of mine of that goddamn fucking engine room. But I mean, it's not really as brutal here because, you know, they got rid of the whole light system and all that, and it's just a and it's just blocking it was what it is though. But now that everything else is stopped after defeating him, then there's the Jiggy, and so yeah, there's a Jiggy for defeating Weldar here. And so now all we gotta do is just, you know, just follow the pathway. It's actually gonna have a long tunnel to get over to, so we're just gonna go ahead and just hurry up and get over. And after that, all that's said and done, then we're pretty much done with Grunty Industries right now, though. The rest of the Jiggies that we don't have, we can't really have access to because we don't have the moves for them. So, you know, that's going to be safe for another backtracking video that they'll be doing, or another post-level cleanup. After, well, of course, after the next level that we're going to be going to. So anyways, let's go ahead and check the totals right here. Now, I also want to say, though, as you can see here, I have all 5 of the Jinjos. But during our trek through Grunty Industries, we only collected 4 Jinjos. That was because, if you remember that one Jinjo that was over in that one area that was actually in Grunty Industries, we actually got it pretty early back in Jolly Roger's Lagoon, where we went into the water supply for Grunty Industries, and so we were over there, and there was that Jinjo. And so we actually got it very early there. That very same Jinjo that we had collected actually does count towards the number of Jinjos in Grunty Industries. And so, so that's actually the reason why it's that we got it here. So just you know, just keep in mind here. So you'll still have it count for your overall score for the collection that you have, even if you actually get it early, and even though we haven't really unlocked Grunty Industries at the time. So there we go. It's actually kind of nice to have here. So anyway, yes, we did it. We are done. We are officially done with Grunty Industries in 3 episodes. Yes, hell yes. We're done with that godforsaken level. Whew, thank God. No more of this. Well, we're going to have to go back to it eventually. Anyway. Next time on Let's Play Banjo-Tooie, we're going to do, once again, more post-cleanup and, you know, more backtracking and all that. And so, it's going to be a short one, too. So, I will see you guys next time.